Okay, so come lying down, as we normally do, in the corpse pose. If you're in a chair, that's fine, stay in the chair. Absolutely no problem. So if you're in a chair, making contact with the back of the chair. So lying down with your feet apart, with your bit of room between the arms and the armpits, and the palms face up so that the shoulders get decompressed and relaxed. And the head nice and relaxed. And trying to get as much as the back of the neck on the floor as you can. And the body is symmetrical. And the eyes closed. So just feeling yourself arrive on the mat and getting ready for our class. So really letting go of any cares and worries of the day and saying to yourself that my mind will be here for the next 75 minutes or so. And taking a few deep breaths, just observing where your breath is. And we're going to do a bit of tensing and relaxing. So inhale your right leg up, tensing the right leg. So just a few centimeters off the floor, not too much. And then release, let go. So anybody with any cardiovascular problems, do not hold the breath. So just breathe normally. So inhale the left leg, hold the breath, and hold the leg there, and then let go completely. Just let it flop. So now tense the buttocks. And if you can hold the breath, hold the breath. If you can lift the buttocks off the floor, just the buttocks, nothing else, and then let go. And now we'll make fists with both hands. Lift the arms off the floor, really tensing both arms. And then exhale and let go. And now bring the shoulders in the direction of the ears. And then bring the hands in the direction of the feet, opposite direction. And then relax back to the center. And now tense the chest, squeezing the shoulder blades together. If you can lift the chest off the floor, do so. And then using a breath out to let the chest come down. And now we're going to relax the face. So squeezing all the facial muscles in the direction of the nose, really squeezing. Imagine you've eaten a sour lemon. And then relax. And now we'll stretch the facial muscles. So exhale, bring your tongue out, open your eyes wide, look to the back of where you are or to the top of the room if you're sat down, and really stretch all the facial muscles, so wherever is comfortable. And relax. Now close the eyes again. And then slowly turning the leg to one side and back to the center. Turning the leg to the other side and coming back to the center again. Now feeling the body relax. So just bringing your hands on the belly for a few belly breaths. So inhaling, feeling the stomach balloon, the hands go apart a little bit. And then exhale, the fingers almost touch again. So a couple of belly breaths, abdominal breath, inhale, imagine a balloon. And then exhale, balloon deflates and hands touch. So making sure that you don't overdo it. If you're recovering from anything, just it should be very comfortable. So you can stay here with the abdominal breath. And for those who want to go on and add the chest breath, so inhaling to the abdomen, and then inhaling a little bit more, so the chest is filled with air as well, and the ribs go to the side, so it's this diaphragmatic breath. So the rib cage go out, and then exhaling, rib cage back in, and belly in. So 2 more times. Inhale, belly up and out. A little bit more to the chest, lateral movement of the diaphragm, the rib cage, sorry, and then exhaling the rib cage down, back to normal center, and then the abdomen down. So now you can stay with this or the abdominal breath only, or if you want to keep on breathing, then we will breathe up to the collarbone. So inhale, abdomen, chest, and collarbone. Exhale, collarbone down, relax, chest relax, and abdomen relax. So making sure there is no strain. So if you feel a strain at any level, then it's an indication that you shouldn't be doing it. It should be nice and comfortable. So by doing the full yogic breath, combining these 3 areas, we expand the lung capacity, which is a good thing to do, especially in these times, or any time, in fact. So 2 more breaths. And then bring your arms up and overhead behind you now, letting go of that breath. Push your heels away from you. And then when you're ready, slowly taking your time, coming up to sitting to start the class. So closing the eyes and just enjoying your sitting position for a moment, getting used to the body to be upright. And we'll start as we normally do with the sound of Om. The opening affirmation. So join me when you're ready. Sahana bhavatu sahano bhunaktu sabhiryam karavavahe tejasvinavaditamastu ma vitvishavahe. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. And when you're ready, open your eyes. And welcome to today's class. We will be doing a gentle class with a few poses. You can kind of adapt them as we go. I think I know everyone. A few names are not there, but okay. So take it easy, and if you change your name in Zoom, then I know who you are, and then I can offer various modifications if needed. Okay, so before we start, I wanted to talk about a resolve in Yoga Nidra. So at the end, we're going to do a slightly longer relaxation than normal. And so for those of you who are new, I sometimes say, think of your resolve. So a resolve is just a short affirmation, something that you're working towards. So we're all consciously or subconsciously trying to do something to improve our lives, something that we want to happen to us, or something that we're working towards. So a resolve is a very short statement in the present tense or the present continuous tense of, like, I am doing this, or I am becoming strong, and it's not in a kind of a tentative language. So it is very direct, and it's not saying I wish I could or I'm trying, but it's actually saying you are. Okay, so it's really believing in that. So I want you to try and discover one if you haven't got a resolve, and if you want to chat about it, you can then message me, and we can try and find you one if you're not sure how to phrase it or whatever. But it's something that you should be discovering naturally yourself, something that feels good, and it could be a short-term goal, and it could be a medium-term goal, or it could be a long-term goal, whatever feels right for you at the moment. And so I would probably not say something between now and tomorrow, but just something that, you know, is you're working towards. So so if there are any questions on that, I'll take them at the end. So I'm telling you this now so that, you know, if you want to kind of think about it a little bit at times, you can do, so that when we get to the Yoga Nidra, you're ready. But if you're not ready today, then you don't need to have one. I might suggest one for today, and then you can take your time and see what it is in your life that you want to kind of address a little bit, and then do it that way. Okay, so that's enough talking for today. And now we're going to start with lying down on the floor and lying on our side. So we're lying on the right hand, or if you want, you can prop the head up for now. So we've done this before. So we're just going to lift the left leg. So bring your left arm on the left leg, feeling the body balance. So the theme today is a bit about balance. So we'll be doing lots of balancing poses. And then inhale, just bringing the left leg up in line with the hip. So not too much. And when you're doing that, making sure that you're not going back. So to prevent you from going back, there'll be a tendency to go back. Then you probably need to engage the core a little bit. So this belly area. So just a few lifts here. So just to the hip, not far at all. So keeping your hand there just kind of makes you get that anchor, so that you don't kind of go up and then you know that your arm is going up. So again, not going back. And carry on a few more times. And now we're going to do a stretch. So we bring the right arm, the left top arm to one side of the room, and the top leg, the left leg, to the opposite side of the room. So a stretch, so trying to reach two ends of the room in a diagonal. So feeling that stretch. And trying to balance again, making sure that you're not going back. And stay here and breathe. So if this is not comfortable, or if you need to keep your arm on your left hand on the floor, do so. If it's not good for you to stretch it today, don't. So the left foot is kind of flexed, a little bit engaged, and just staying here for a little while. And then just noticing what it is that is keeping you balanced in this pose. So a lot of work comes from the core area. And then bring your hand back there. And now we're going to do the same lift that we did earlier on, but we're going to lift a little bit higher. So inhale, lift the left leg, but not too high so that you go back like this, but just only up to where you can keep the legs straight and the body, the hips straight. So just a few, keeping the foot flex. So inhale up, using your breath, and exhale down. Again, making sure that you're not moving or your hip is not going back at all. If it's easier for you to hold your head, you can do that. So it's quite a hard work, and on these, on the muscles that we don't normally use. So you might feel it after a while. Don't overdo it. And then coming down and relaxing here. And then we're going to turn on, lying on the left hand, so you can just turn the other way. But I'm going to move so that you can still see me if you need to. I mean, generally these instructions should be enough, so you don't need the visual. Just the voice should be enough for this pose, for this series of poses. Okay, so we're now lying on our left arm, or you can hold your head with the left hand, whatever you feel like. And then here we're going to feel the balance. Again, one side might be different to the other. So right arm on the thigh, and then inhale, the leg just lifts a little bit, just in line with the hip. Not too much. Inhale up, exhale down, inhale up, exhale down, inhale up, exhale down, two more, up and down, the last one, and down. And now we're going to do the opposite. So bringing the top arm to one corner of the room, and then the top leg to the other side. So feeling a stretch, lateral stretch. So again, making sure that you're not collapsing forward or back, letting the body balance. So we do balance on the floor as well. It's a little bit more challenging than one would think sometimes if you're doing it properly. So staying here and breathing. And if anything gets a little bit too much at any point, of course, come out of the pose so you know what's best for your body. I try to challenge you a little bit, but you feel and do what you can, and nothing more. And then coming back to the center, original position. And now we're just going to try and lift the right leg now a little bit higher without the body or the hip going backwards. So inhale, leg up, where you feel like you're going back, then that means you've gone too much. Come down and feel where you need to go. So adjust. So inhaling up, if you can coordinate with the breath. Coordinate with the breath, so that will encourage you to go slower. Or if you feel that's not working for you today, then just breathe normally. That's okay too. Everything is fine. A couple more. I've got no idea how many, but go one last one. And then relax. And then now we're going to go into all fours. So when you're ready, coming into all fours. So taking your time. So we're going to do a few tiger stretches. So some of you would know them quite well, and I will demonstrate. So so that I will talk you through, but I'm just quickly demonstrating now. So inhaling, the right leg bent, and then looking up, and then exhaling, the knee in the direction of the nose. So it's a long way away from the nose, and I don't know why we say that, but anyway, it's in that direction. So inhale and then exhale, nose. Okay, so getting ready. So the knees are hip distance apart, and the hands are directly underneath the shoulders with the fingers spread wide. The reason the fingers are spread wide is so that the weight is distributed equally on the hand and not just at the wrist. And if this is not good for you, you can always have a fist as well. So you just adjust. And if the shoulders are a bit tight today, you can just walk your hands a little bit, one hand forward and to the side a little bit, so 45 degrees to kind of ease the pressure in the shoulders. So now we'll start with the right inhale, the right leg up, keeping the knee bent, and then looking up. And then with the exhalation, bringing the knee to the nose. So if you want to do this in a chair as well, that's fine, or you can be standing and doing this with holding onto a chair. So by just bringing the leg back. So inhale, bending, exhale, knee to nose. So 2 more, and exhale. So using your breath. So keeping the right knee bent. And now we're going to bring, instead of bringing the knee to the nose, exhaling, we'll bring the knee to the outside of the right elbow. So let's try that. Inhale, bend knee, exhale, right knee to the outside of right elbow. Or in that direction, it doesn't have to touch, but we're just moving the hip a little bit. Here we're getting a bit of work in the hip. You might also feel it in the left hip maybe. So just see what works for you. 2 more. And of course, stop whenever you need to stop. And relax. So if you need to just take a moment, we're going to do the same thing on the other side. So if you need to stretch your hands, and then we'll go back to the other side. So inhale, bending the left leg. Exhale, knee to nose. Inhale. Exhale, knee to nose. 3 more times in your own time, feeling the work in the various places in the body. And then when you're going back, making sure that the hips are not going to one side, so the hips are still square. And then now we're going to do the same, but with the knee to the outside of the wrist. So inhale, looking up, foot flex, exhale, left knee to the outside of left wrist. And then 2 more, or 3 more, whatever feels good. So the idea is to do equal number on each side. But for those of you who know me, you know that I've got no idea. Most times when I'm teaching, when I'm doing it on my own, it's a bit easier. And then relax. Okay, so now we just come into child pose for a moment. So child pose, your knees can be close, or you can have a wide-legged child pose, where the knees are quite wide, and then the heels are onto the buttocks, and then coming down with your head towards the floor. And if the head doesn't get to the floor, then you want to make a little tripod to rest your beautiful chin on, just like that. Or if you can get down to the floor or near the floor, you can make 1 fist, 2 fists, size of 2, 3 apples, and then just rest there. So in child pose, just feeling the body breathe. And feeling the body, or the breath in the back. So you can almost feel the breath at the back. The back is moving in and out. So bringing your attention to the back. Couple more breaths. Okay, and now we're going to do another, well, the same tiger pose, but with a balance this time. So again, coming back to our base pose, knees underneath the hips, hands underneath shoulders, or adjust as you need to. So now this time we're going to outstretch the right leg back. So with the foot flex, so the knee is straight. If you want a micro bend, that's fine. And then just stay here. So you can look at a point on the floor, a point that's not moving. And then if you're ready, you can try and lift the left hand up, the left arm up. So if it doesn't happen, you can just try one finger on the floor. And if you can just lift everything on the floor and feel the stretch there. You can flex the back toe, the right toes. And staying here and breathing. So feeling where the work is happening to keep you balanced. So it's always, with any balance poses, it's always helpful to fix on one point. And then slowly coming down. And now changing side. So we'll leave both hands on the floor first, and then we'll outstretch. So just outstretch the left leg. So if you want, you can just lift just the big toe off a little bit. It doesn't have to be quite so high, but just wherever is right for you. And then you can just lift a few fingers up from your hands, or if you can, you go in a straight line and feeling your body balance. Again, here, feeling where the work is happening to keep you in this pose. So it's quite a strong pose. And then slowly coming back down. Okay. So we've got one pose and one other pose with, so we will come onto standing knees. And then we will outstretch the right leg. So taking your time. And here the idea is for the right toes to be on the floor. But if that's not quite happening, then you can lift your toes up. So it's up to you. So toes down. But if that's not comfortable, then toes up. Okay. So, right. So we're going to go on. So inhale when you're ready. The left arm up. Just staying here for a little while. Just feeling that, imagine there is a rope pulling you up. You can feel the spine elongate. So you can just move the toes a little bit so they're to the front. That I find that more comfortable, but you might see where you feel more comfortable. And then with an exhalation, just slide your hand down the right leg, and then bringing the left arm and feeling a nice lateral stretch on the left side. So if you think you've gone too far, then back off a little bit so that you feel it's a nice. So if you're on a chair, you can just bend, a lateral bend to the right so that you stretch the left side. So you can forget about the leg positions. So this is called Parigraha Asana. So it's And sometimes we call it the gate pose as well. If you find if somebody doing the opposite on the other side, it kind of feels like it's a gate, opening and closing. And then when you're ready, coming down here. And now you can bring, if this feels okay for you, you can bring your left hand on the floor, and then a little bit of a twist there. Or if you've got a block handy or something, you can bring your fingers on a block. That might be more accessible if you've got something that you can use. So now we just stretch the other side in this pose. And then coming back to the center. And now we do the opposite side. So outstretching the left leg, so you can bring the leg facing to the middle of the room or there, whatever feels right for your body type. And then inhale, bring the right arm up first. So without going anywhere now, feel the spine elongate. So just go up. Feel how tall you've gone, how nice and free your spine is. So just breathing here for a few breaths without letting your spine collapse. Feeling that height, and then we're exhaling, sliding the left hand on the leg, and then just coming down. So you might just come down a little, that's fine. So to wherever feels good for your body. So without going to the front or to the back. So what we're interested in is this opening in the front body. And then slowly coming back to the center. And then you can bring your right hand down on the floor or on the block, wherever you are, and then lifting the left arm up. Or if you're in a chair, you just have a lateral stretch. And breathing normally here. Wherever you feel a stretch, if you want to channel the out breath there to release any tension. Okay. So now we're going to come up. So so coming back, and then we come up to standing. So we'll do a couple of practices standing. So coming up in whatever way that feels right for you. Okay. So now we're going to do one sun salutation and one moon salutation. So I taught the one in the chair last week. So if you want to do that, so we'll get ready. So the theme today, as I said, is balancing. So we do one heating practice, which is the sun salutation, and then we'll do the cooling practice. So we'll start with the heating one, with the sun salutations. So for sun salutations, coming with your feet close together, if you like. Some people like their feet touching, and some people that feel that's a bit uncomfortable for the knees. So you can just spread, have a distance that's comfortable for you, not too far apart though. And then tuck the pelvis under so that you're in a nice straight position. So tuck the pelvis under so that you haven't got a hollow back. So staying there for a moment, and then inhale, exhale your palms together. So we'll just stay here for a moment, connecting with the qualities of the sun. And then inhale, coming up. So up first, and then a little bit of a back bend. Imaginary fingers behind your neck that you're not squashing. And then using an exhalation, coming down. let your head hang, bend your knees as much as you need to. So hands by either side of the feet. And then with an inhalation, left leg back, left knee on the floor, uncurl your toes, and then tips of the hands on the floor, looking up, a nice stretch in your neck as well. And then transitioning into the plank pose. So plank pose, and if you can go straight, you can go. Otherwise, all fours, one leg back, upper body doesn't move, left leg back. So the buttocks are not too high and you're looking slightly ahead of your mat. And then slowly bringing the knees down, keeping the elbows in, bring the chest down and the forehead down on the floor. The buttocks in the air, and then slide the body into one straight line. And then we come up into cobra. So we'll do baby cobra for this one. So lift the arms up, the hands up, using just your back. So if you can come up a little bit more, and then bring the hands back on the floor. And then we go into inverted V or downward dog. So hips on the floor, release the head and the neck, making sure there's room for the head to move. And you're looking in the direction of the thighs. And quite a bit of room between the ears and the elbow and the shoulders. And then now we want the right foot in between the hands. So we bring the left foot down on the floor if you need to, and then the right foot in between, landing very lightly, coming on the tip of your fingers and looking up. And then bringing the back foot to the front foot, bending forward in a forward bend so you can shift your weight a little bit forward. You can bend your knees as much as you need to. If you want to if you want a really nice strong back stretch, you can straighten your knees if that feels good for you, but you do need contact with the floor. So that means we might need to bend our knees and do so. And now inhale with a nice flat back. Stretch up first and then back. Mind those fingers and hands into prayer and hands by the side. Okay, other side. Inhale, exhale, palms together. Inhale, up, feeling it's like a flow of a dance, up and then back. Exhaling, coming down, let the head hang, and then knees bent, hand, fingers to one side. If you can, bring the palm of your hand down, do so. Inhale, the left leg back, the left knee on the floor, tip of your fingers so the back is nice and straight, looking up to the ceiling, chin stretch, and then transitioning into the plank pose. So for those of you who are used to doing this, in the plank pose, you're holding your breath. So, but everyone else, breathe naturally. And then slowly with an exhalation, bring the knees down, uncurl the toes, keep the elbows in, chest down, forehead down. Inhale, body one straight line, and then coming up with the hands off the floor. Keep the feet on the floor if you can. Bring the hands down and then into all fours. Go into downward dog. If you need to go onto all fours, go onto all fours. And here, if you need to walk your feet forward, do so. For those of you who can get your heels on the floor, do that. Not all of us can. And then just enjoying the plank pose for a moment. So now inhaling the left foot in between the hands. So you might want to bring the right knee on the floor for that, or in one go. And then making the foot land very lightly. So coming on the tips of your fingers, looking up, and then bringing the back foot to meet the front foot. And then inhaling up, straight up. Little bit of a back bend, bending from where the grass drop is. And then exhaling, hands to prayer and hands to the side. Okay, so now, if you need a break, take a break. Otherwise, now we're going to go into the moon salutation. So we're going to start this time with the left leg. So I'll demonstrate this one from this side. So inhale, exhale, your palms together. Inhale, palms up, straight up, little bit of a back bend, minding your fingers behind the neck, imaginary of course. Exhale, coming down, hands by your feet, bend your knees, let the neck hang. Inhale, left leg back, left knee on the floor. Come on the tip of your fingers, looking up. So into the equestrian pose. And here making sure that your right knee is directly above your right heel. And then now we come into the half moon pose. So you can bring the hands up. So you can leave the hands just like this if you like, but decompressing the shoulders. Or if you're comfortable with your hands in prayer, you can do that. So if you can, for those of you who are used to doing this, so making sure that you balance in this pose. It's a balancing pose as well, so that you don't lose your balance. For those of you who want to do a back bend, go ahead. And then with an exhalation coming down, and now transitioning back into the plank pose. So one leg back, and then the other, looking ahead of the mat. And then slowly bring the knees down. Bring the chest down, bring the forehead down. Slide the body into one straight line, coming up. So this time we come into cobra. We use the hands a little bit. If you can keep the feet close together, do so. So just using the hands, but keeping the navel on the floor. So you don't have to go too far up. And then exhaling into downward dog. So heels on the floor, hips as high up as you can, room between the ears and the shoulders, let the head hang. Now we want the left foot in between the hands, so you can bring the right knee down, or in one go, landing the foot lightly, uncurl the back toe, and now we go straight into equestrian pose. So it could be up, it could be a little bit back. And then exhaling, coming down. And now we spend a little bit of time in the equestrian pose, looking up. Sorry, that was the moon pose before. And now bringing the back foot to meet the front foot. Inhale, coming up. Back bend, hands into prayer, and hands by your side. And now we do the last of this, which is the moon pose on the right, with the right leg. So inhale, exhale, the palms together. Inhale, up, back bend. Exhale, down. Let the head hang. Bend your knees if you need to. And hands, fingers on the floor or hands on the floor. And now inhale the right leg back. Right knee on the floor, uncurl the toe. Left knee is above the left heel, opening the chest, chin looking up. And now transitioning into, we're doing moon salutation, so we're going to go up into moon pose. So coming up to wherever is comfortable, making sure that the shoulders are relaxed. So it's not high up, the shoulders are not near the ears, they are relaxed down. So go only as far back as is comfortable for you. Keep the eyes open for balance here. And then coming back down. And then we'll transition into the plank pose. So all fours, one leg back, upper body straight, lifting the left leg or the other leg. So holding the plank pose, feeling the core. Now bringing the knees on the floor, uncurl the toes, chest down, forehead down, and one body in one straight line coming up into cobra. So adjust the pace to your own. And then exhaling into inverted V. Let the neck hang. And then we want to bring the right foot in between the hands, so you can bring the left knee down first, or just bring the right foot, whatever works for you, and landing lightly. Hands come on the tip of your fingers, looking up, stretching the neck. And so, sorry, we go up into moon pose straight away. And then we go back into equestrian. So on the way back, we go straight to moon and then equestrian. On the first bit, we go equestrian first and then moon pose. So mirroring really. And then bringing the back foot to land lightly to meet the front foot. And then if you need to bend your knees, arms back, coming up with a nice flat back. Arms up and back. And hands into prayer and relax. Okay, so just staying where you are and taking a few deep breaths. So the cooling practice and the heating practice, the sun and the moon, the ha and the ta. That's how Hatha Yoga comes from, the moon and the sun and the moon. So just feeling this here. And so we're now going to take a little bit of a rest. So we're going to rest on the floor lying down. But if you don't want to get up and down too much, you can just rest in a chair for now if you like. So we're going to do one lying down rest, then a sitting, and then a standing. So if you want to sit on the chair, do so. Otherwise, if you're happy to go on the floor and then to come back in, then do so. So we're going to rest in this pose, which we have done before. So bending your right knee, making a pillow for your head, and then just resting here. So that's the flapping fish pose. So we're not going to go anywhere today. We're just going to stay here. If this doesn't feel right for any reason, then you can just go into Advasan, which is just make a pillow with your hands, and then head on the hands, and then big toes to touch. So you choose out of these two resting positions which one you prefer. Or you could also bring one cheek on the floor, and then just rest there, whatever you feel like. So in my classes, normally we kind of try and take rests after we do something a little bit strenuous that gets the heart rate up, so that we do not build up lactic acid, and letting the body recover. The idea is not to put too much stress on the body, and that's one other fundamental difference between physical exercise and yoga. You're still working hard, you're still getting the exercise, but we try and not build up lactic acid, which has an effect on the mood, has an effect on other sides of the body and the mind. So inhaling for a count of 2, exhaling for 4. Two more breaths. And now we move to flapping fish on the other side. Or if you are doing Advasan, then you change where your cheek is. Or if you're in the middle position, then you just stay there and chill out. So bending the left knee, the left foot just resting. So the left knee is almost parallel, is almost 90 degrees, sorry. And then resting the right cheek on the floor. So if you want, you can bring the hands in the direction of that left thigh, if you like. And making the exhalation a little bit longer. And then coming back to the center. And now we'll come up into sitting again. So to do one twist from Vajrasana. So you can sit in 2 different ways. So you can sit in this pose if this works for you. So if you've got any knee issues, this will not work at all. Or if you've got very tight glutes, that will not work either. And so that is one position. So if you're in this position, the back needs to be nice and straight, or otherwise just go into easy cross-leg position or sitting position, or you can even outstretch the legs in front of you, or if you're in a chair, just be in a chair, sitting normally with your back a little bit away from the back of the chair. Okay, so I'm going to go into an easy sitting position, which is Sukhasana. And then what we do is bring the left hand towards the right hip from the back, and then bring the right hand to the left knee. So just staying here for a moment, opening the upper body a little bit, and then if you can, exhaling, looking back. And if the back hand is a little bit too much there, you can just release it and left the left hand on the floor instead on to the other, to the opposite waist. So here again, what we want is that opening of the chest. And I feel like if I put my hands back, I get a nicer stretch. So you can experiment what works for your body. So the idea is to get the intelligence so that you make the pose work for you. Even when I could see you, I wouldn't know how you're feeling so much. Sometimes I can tell, but sometimes I can't. So you're the best judge of what you need to do. So it's nice, the opening of the various parts of the upper body. It's a nice liberating feeling. So if you want to close your eyes, close your eyes. If your body is inviting you to go further into the twist, do. If your body is saying back out, listen to it. Or just staying in a place of stillness and be there. So if you feel any tension, you can try and use the exhalation to get rid of that tension. And then slowly coming back to the center, and we'll do the opposite. So you now know where you want your backhand. So now we bring the left hand on the right knee, and then you can choose whether you want your right hand on the floor behind you or whether you want it onto your waist. So you choose. And then just without going anywhere first. Just bring that hand, a little bit of a twist, and then using an exhalation, going a little bit more. So keeping the back straight. So imagine I'm behind you and I'm trying to get you to elongate your spine. So mentally scan your body and do your own adjustments. So relaxing the hands, there's not too much pressure on the hands. So anything that you can relax, that you don't need to keep you nice and straight in this pose, then just relax it. So if it feels good, close the eyes and breathe. So feeling where the air is traveling inside the body. And also any tension that you don't need. So sometimes we grip the knee with too much force when we don't need to. The hand is just there for a little bit of support, but nothing. So just let go. If you're gripping the floor too much, let go. Anything that you don't need here, let go. So we also learn body awareness. We learn when our body is getting tense. So we develop our relationship with our body, where the body is indicating to us what is going on. And that's a very big advantage of yoga asanas, is to be in touch with our body so we know what's going on. You'll find that when you're a bit tense, the whole body goes a little bit tense as well. And sometimes you will notice it from your body, and then you know what your mind is doing, and you can intervene and help with that. And then slowly coming back to the center and relaxing. And now, so I'm sorry there's a bit of up and down in this class, so we'll come up for a balancing pose or two. So getting ready for one balancing pose. So today we're going to do Nataraj Asana, so which is the dancer's pose. So we come on with the weight on our left leg, and then so we have a little micro bend in that left knee, and then we bring the right leg across. So we might want to turn that left knee a little, that left foot like 45 degrees, and then bring that right foot here. So my hips don't turn in, but it should be more to the side and parallel to the floor. So mine don't quite go any much further than that. So then here, bringing your right hand with the right wrist pointing down, and then bringing the left hand on top of the right wrist, not touching. So just having a little bit of a play here. So if balancing is a bit difficult for you today, then leave the right leg on the floor and then just kind of do the hand movement and then see what you can do here. And then coming back to the center. And then we're going to do another one to the other side. So turning the foot 45 degrees, almost turning a little bit the hip so that the left leg is quite in and parallel. So I struggle with that a little bit. And then, so bringing the right hand and the right arm just on top of the legs with the palms, with the fingers pointing down, bringing the right hand on the right elbow on top of the wrist, and then just staying there. So you've got a micro bend in the right knee. So just experiment with it. It might be that you need to leave your left foot on the floor today, and that's okay. And just do the hand movement and just experiment. And then coming back down. And now we're going to go and get ready for our final relaxation. So we haven't got time to do any breathing exercise. So we're going to rest. We're going to do our final relaxation. So coming down with as little effort as you can. If you need to keep yourself warm, do whatever you need to, and getting settled for your final relaxation. If you want to relax in a chair, that's fine. Okay. And so making sure you're comfortable in your position, really settling in. And so we're getting ready for Yoga Nidra, lying down on your back if you need any support underneath your knees, whatever you need to do to make yourself very comfortable. The idea is not to have any physical movement. Close your eyes and keep them strictly closed until you're told to open them. Take a deep breath, and as you breathe out, feel the cares and worries of the day flow out of you. In the practice which follows, you're going to develop the feeling of relaxation in the body. It is not necessary to make movements or deliberately relax your muscles. Simply develop the feeling of relaxation. It is like the feeling you have just before sleep. So when relaxation becomes deep, sleep does come, but you should try to keep yourself completely awake. If you're sleep deprived, then you will sleep, and that's absolutely fine. Yoga Nidra is designed for you to stay awake to get the maximum benefit. But if sleep is what your body needs right now, then there's nothing you can do about it. So be kind to yourself. Nevertheless, make the resolve that you will keep awake. I will not sleep. I will remain awake throughout the practice. During Yoga Nidra, you're functioning on the levels of hearing and awareness. And the only important thing is follow the voice of the instructor. So simply follow the instructions, do not analyze them too much. Simply follow the voice with total attention and feeling. And if thoughts come to disturb you from time to time, just continue the practice. So now just feeling the body relax, completely relax. I am going to practice Yoga Nidra. I am going to practice Yoga Nidra. The practice of Yoga Nidra begins now. At this moment, you should make your resolve. So your resolve is something very simple, which you try and discover naturally. If you haven't got one, you can use a resolve that says, I am resilient, I am resilient, I am resilient. Or if you have your own, repeat it 3 times with feeling and conviction. You're really believing what you're saying with all your cells. We now begin rotation of consciousness, rotation of awareness, by taking a trip through the different parts of the body. As quickly as possible, the awareness is to go from one part to another. Repeat the part in your mind and simultaneously become aware of that part of the body. So become aware of the right hand thumb, second finger, third finger, fourth finger, Fifth finger, palm of the hand. Become aware of your palm, back of the hand, the wrist, the lower arm, the elbow, upper arm, the shoulder, the armpit, the right waist, the right hip, the right thigh, the kneecap, the calf muscle, ankle, heel, sole of the right foot, top of the foot, big toe, second toe, third toe, fourth toe, fifth toe. Become aware of the left hand thumb, second finger, third finger, fourth finger, fifth finger, palm of the hand, back of the hands, the wrist, lower arms, elbows, upper arms, shoulder, armpit, the left waist, left hip, left thigh, kneecap, calf muscle, ankle, the heel, the sole of the left foot, the back of the foot, the top of the foot, the big toe, second toe, third toe, fourth toe, and fifth toe. Now to the back. Become aware of the right shoulder blade, the left shoulder blade, right buttock, left buttock, the spine, the whole back together. Now go to the top of the head, forehead, both sides of the head, the right eyebrow, the left eyebrow, space between the eyebrows, the right eyelid, the left eyelid, the right eye, the left eye, the right ear, the left ear, the right cheek, the left cheek, the nose, tip of the nose, upper lip, lower lip, chin, throat, right chest, left chest, the middle of the chest, the navel, the abdomen, the whole of the right leg, the whole of the left leg, both legs together, both arms together, the whole of the back, buttocks, spine, shoulder blades, the whole of the front, abdomen, chest, the whole of the back and the front together, the whole of the head, the whole body together, the whole body together, the whole body together. Please do not sleep. Total awareness, the body on the floor. Become aware of the body lying on the floor. Now bringing the attention to the breath, feeling the breath coming in through the nostrils and the breath coming out. Now we're going to do some visualizations and awareness of sensations. So awaken the feeling of heaviness in the body, the feeling of heaviness. Become aware of heaviness in every single part of the body. You're feeling so heavy that your body is sinking into the floor. Awareness of heaviness. Awareness of heaviness. Awaken the feeling of lightness. Awaken the feeling of lightness, the sensation of lightness and weightlessness in all parts of the body. Your body feels so light that it seems to be floating away from the floor. Awareness of lightness. The experience of cold. Awaken the experience of bitter cold in the body. Imagine you're walking on a cold floor in winter. Your feet feel very cold, feeling all the sensations of cold from your feet and all over. Awareness of coldness, awareness of coldness, awareness of coldness. Awaken the sensation of heat. Awaken the sensation of heat. The whole body is hot. The whole body is hot. You feel hot all over. Recollect the feeling of heat in summer when you're out in the shade, in the sun with no shade. Heat all over the body, scorching sun, all around. Awareness of the heat. The experience of pain. Concentrate and try to remember the experience of pain. Any pain that you might have experienced in your life, physical or mental. Recollect that feeling of pain. Now, recollect the feeling of pleasure. Any kind of pleasure, mental or physical. Recollect this feeling and relive it, making it vivid, the time when you experience pleasure. Awaken the body feeling of pleasure, awaken the feeling of pleasure in the whole body, feeling it everywhere, feeling of pleasure. Now, this is time for you to repeat with the same result that you had at the beginning. Repeat the same resolve. Do not change it. Repeat it 3 times with full awareness and feeling. Relaxing all the efforts. Draw your mind outside and become aware of your breathing, physical breathing. Become aware of the natural breath, aware of the whole body, aware of the breathing. Your body is totally relaxed on the floor. Develop awareness of your body from the top of the head to the tips of the floor, of the toes, sorry. And become aware of the floor and the position of your body lying on the floor. Visualize the virtual space we're all in with all our Monday class participants, visualizing everyone in their own place. And slowly just coming onto one side, make a little bit of movement. And if you need to give yourself a nice big yawn or whatever you need to do, nobody's watching, go for it. Just to feel good. And taking really your time to come up into sitting. So we've been lying down for a little while. So you want to go onto one side first, and then coming up to close the class when you're ready. So keeping your eyes closed. keeping your eyes closed. Then we can finish the class as we normally do with 3 Oms and the closing prayers. So join me when you like. So I'll do the Sanskrit prayer as well, followed by the English one. So with the Sanskrit one, just listen to the sound. And if you like, feel the vibration in your body. So if you want to bring your thumbs together and your index fingers pointing down, your thumbs pointing towards your navel, the index fingers pointing towards the floor, and the remaining of the fingers are just interlaced. So you can feel with your fingers, the thumb and the index fingers, you can feel the vibration of the singing. Sarvesham swastirbhavatu, Sarvesham shantirbhavatu, Sarvesham purnam bhavatu, Sarvesham mangalam bhavatu, Sarve bhavantu sukhina, Sarve santu niramaya, Sarve bhadrani pashyantu, ma kakshit dukha bhagavate. Auspiciousness be unto all, perfect peace be unto all, fullness be unto all, prosperity be unto all, happiness be unto all, perfect health be unto all. May all see good in everyone, may all be free from suffering. Loka samasta sukhino bhavantu. May the entire universe be filled with peace and joy, love and light. So thank you everyone for joining me today. And I will stop the recording, and then anyone wants to chat or have got any questions, please feel free. So give me a second.